The Detroit Public Schools Foundation is wrapping up a crowdfunding campaign aimed at raising $300,000 for students, families, and educators in the district. The fundraiser has included pop-up events like this student jazz performance at Bert's Marketplace. The fundraising campaign will conclude with an event on June 25th at the Eastern Detroit in Eastern Market. The evening will include food trucks and door prizes. Joining me now is the head of the DPS Foundation, Pamela Moore. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah. And congratulations on this really ambitious campaign.
It was an ambitious.
$300,000.
Yes.
So talk about what the DPS Foundation does.
So we were created to create opportunities for our children at DPSCD, and we do that by fundraising to fill in some of those resource gaps, as well as we manage many of the large program grants that go into the district that have been provided by foundations and corporations.
And that support is really critical to the experience that students and families and teachers have in the district. I mean, unfortunately, we just are not in a space yet where we're doing the right thing in terms of funding.
That is correct.
DPS Foundation fills a lot of those gaps.
That is correct. State aid funding just doesn't cover many of the things that you and I had when we came through our K-12 experience. So there are lots of gaps. From teacher professional development, we have new curriculum that's now in alignment with the state standards. Teachers need to be trained in that curriculum. To music programs, instruments, we have a camp. It's a summer STEM camp right now. We'd like to operate that camp all year. We raise money for scholarships every year. We're giving away 50 this year, as well as resources in the classroom, after-school programs, pre-K programs. We know the research says if you don't invest in pre-K and after school, you're really not going to come out with performance numbers that are ideal, and that's what Michigan is seeing right now.
So talk about the origins of this current campaign. Where'd you come up with that number?
Well, that was kind of our budget gap.
Yeah.
Our fiscal year ends June 30th, and we took a look at the budget, and fundraising is difficult.
Yes, it is.
But we've got 50,000 really good reasons to support the DPS Foundation, our children and the families. So typically, again, we get funding from foundations, corporations, the philanthropic community, but we thought, let's take this to the streets. More and more new Detroiters call us and say, hey, how can we help? How can we get engaged? We don't have children, or our children are not yet old enough, but we want to put our children in the district. And so we're starting to get some momentum. And so we thought, let's take it to the streets, let's take it to the individual and say, you know, you've got some connection. If you've lived in Detroit, you've got some connection to the district. Someone worked in the district, you either went to the district or you live next door to a school. You have some connection with DPS. And so we thought, let's go to individuals, kind of a call to action. Let them know what's really going on. Great strides have been made by Dr. Vitti and his team. However, there are still many, many, many gaps. And so we just wanted to take the message. It's more about awareness as well as fundraising. We have gotten some grants in since we set that goal, and so we've got about an $80,000 gap right now. But we want individuals to just understand that these children are your children. If you live, work, play, worship in the city of Detroit, these children are your children, and it is in our best interest to make sure that these children are going to be okay and get a great education.
The events that you've had have featured
Cats Tech Jazz Combo.
That's right, the very children that we are talking about.
That's right. And we're going to have a 14-year-old DJ at this event on the 25th. Her name is Z Light, and she is phenomenal. We're going to give away Detroit Bikes. Detroit Bikes is on our board. And so it's just going to be a fun event. Again, it's about awareness. It's a $25 ticket. But we want people to kind of plug in and get engaged and understand the good work that we're doing and the help that the district needs.
You mentioned Superintendent Vitti, who's been here now, I think, 3 years.
Going on 3.
How different are things from your perspective since he came. It seems from the outside like things are settled down
Absolutely.
in a place that had been pretty chaotic under state authority for a long time. It seems like there's kind of a more consistent beat and march toward a common goal rather than fits and starts.
Absolutely. So I came 3 years ago to the foundation. The phones were not ringing.
Is that
We were
right?
still under state control. We did not have an elected school board, and there was no Dr. Vitti and his team. A year later, the school board was elected. They hired Dr. Vitti, and it has been a drastic change. Our phones ring. People want to know how they can partner, how they can assist. Dr. Vitti is on our board, as well as Alicia Merriweather and Angelique Peterson Mayberry, an elected member of the school board. And so we work arm in arm with the district. We stay very close to understanding what their needs are, what their priorities are, and how we can fill in those gaps. So I think it's been a huge change. His State of the School address talked about the improvements that have been made. We've got a long way to go. We are clear about that. This is a district that has been neglected for decades. State takeover, teacher salaries cut. I mean, the list is very long, and these children have suffered. And so it's time for the adults to put these children first, for us to focus on the whole child. We have to focus not only what happens in the classroom, but what happens when that child goes home. Is that home stable? We know that there's housing insecurity, there's food insecurity, and that trauma comes into the classroom, and we have to address that with health programs and training the professionals that are in the schools. And so the lift is heavy, but I think it's a worthy cause, and I think it's up to all of us to get engaged and make sure that these young people get what they deserve and the opportunities.
I mean, the list is so long of things that that they need. I wonder how you guys prioritize where the money that you raise is going to go.
That's right, because we're small, we can only do so much, but we are in alignment with the district. So we have 4 buckets. We focus on early childhood and literacy. We focus on STEAM. We focus on career pathways. There's a lot happening in that space right now. And then experiences beyond the classroom, the field trips, the competitions, the professional development, the camps, the music programs, after-school programs. So yeah, that's kind of how, those are kind of our 4 buckets that we focus on. And it kind of covers everything, and we just do what we can do. And again, the momentum's there, but we want everyone to support these children and these educators that are on the front line every day, spending money out of their own pockets.
Right, to make up for what
what's not there.
we are not doing.
That's right.
Through the funding mechanisms.
That's right. And we're a 501c3, so your donation is tax deductible.
It's tax deductible, All right. Anything else at the event that people should know about?
No, just come out on the 25th. It's a busy weekend. We've got fireworks. We've got River Days, but it's the Tuesday after that. But just come out, have a good time. It's just going to be a fun, short evening. Just support and just understand that we need you. We need everyone, as Dr. Vitti says, to take a brick and help us rebuild this district.
Help fill that gap that you guys still have. All
Thank
right.
you, Stephen.
Thanks very much for being here,
Thank
and
you.
good luck with the event.
Thank you.